Just before 3 p.m., St. Paul fire units were called to the 700 block of Mount Curve for a trench collapse. Report of people being trapped. There was 2 individuals that were trapped. Numerous resources, not only from St. Paul Fire, but St. Paul Police, Minneapolis Fire, Public Works from St. Paul. They brought out a vac truck to try to help extricate some of that dirt in a very timely fashion and manner. Due to the amount of time that elapsed with getting the trench safely secure so that we could enter, have crews enter, and not have any further collapse or injury or trauma to the responders, this unfortunately has moved to a recovery at this point, and there are 2 individuals that have perished in this accident, unfortunately. Due to the size of the boulders and the amount of soil that was in the trench, that is likely would have caused significant trauma injuries as well as asphyxia if we weren't able to get there in a very, very short time frame, which we did arrive quickly, but again, with the efforts that needed to take place to safely perform that extrication and rescue, it was just too much time had elapsed, unfortunately.
Can you speak to what they were doing or what kind of work was being done that led up to this trench collapse?
You know, it appears that they were working on a construction. It looks like maybe a drain of some sort. But at that time, or this time, I don't necessarily have those specific details, but more will be offered up as we learn those details.
And then you said there's 2 people that are down there currently.
Correct.
Can you speak to age, gender? Are these young people? Are these adults? Or these...
You know, we're working on those details. Unfortunately, right now it's so early on in this effort. It's unfortunate that I don't have that to share with you. But as soon as we do get that, we'll release that out in a media statement.
And then I know you guys made it to the scene really quickly towards when this happened. At any point, were you able to make contact with the people that were down below the rubble?
We were not, but we did make efforts and conversation with the rescuer that attempted to get in the trench initially, who then realized it was not an effort that he could complete, so he jumped out of the hole and then called 911.
And then can you speak to some of the efforts that were done here prior to this becoming a recovery mission? I know there's a lot of people doing a lot of work.
There is. So St. Paul Fire Department, Minneapolis Fire Department, we all have the resources of specialized trench rescue, collapse rescue training, and so the efforts on that part with all of the instruments, the tools, the cribbing, shoring, et cetera, that they would need to safely enter a trench. That's why they have this equipment. That's why we practice. That's why we are able to respond and set this type of rescue mission up. Unfortunately, again, too much time had simply elapsed.
Is there a survivor? Was there another person involved in this that survived?
There was another member that was not inside the trench that was able to call 911 and get that resource running.
Do you have any idea how deep of a trench this was? How far below the ground they were when this trench collapsed?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't speak to that either, given the amount of soil and debris that has gone into the trench. So we will try to determine that and get that out in that mission or that report when we put out another statement.
But these were construction workers who were working below ground for this adjacent project.
That's the appearance of the issue. Yeah.
Anything else you feel like you would want to say, just from a department standpoint today? This is really tragic.
Oh, feel horrible for the victims when anything like this happens. We train for this every single day. We work to make sure that this type of thing, if it can be avoided, that it is avoided through our training efforts. And unfortunately, time was not on our side to make that difference today.